And we're live. Hey, folks, how's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday evening? Hope you're all doing well. We've got a couple of guests with us today. We've got Cheddar Kung Pao. David, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Hack.
Hey, no worries, brother. And we have Chris, the Guitar Pit. How's it going,
You
buddy?
got it right. I was waiting. I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, considering all the tequila shots I had this afternoon, I didn't screw that up. Yeah.
Nice work. Nice work.
Okay, so let me just welcome the people in the chat before we get flying here. Oh, wow. Okay. We got Fender Guru. We got Paul Liu. Hey, buddy. Scott Nickerson is here. Nice to see you. And Scott, yeah, thanks for picking up some Guitar Hack merch. Appreciate that, buddy. Thanks for supporting the cause. Lefty Mike is here. Hey, buddy. How are you? So, yeah, so just off there, we were talking a little bit about your experiences with NAMM, and you guys were enlightening me a little bit about what it actually entails. So it's kind of nice to hear it from your perspective. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Chris, so you were saying,
Well,
eh.
I don't want to come off as a total party pooper, but I think if you're going as a guitar person and not as a YouTuber or a networker, or I mean, there's a lot of business deals going on, that sort of thing. If you just want to go and play guitars that you can't see at the store, it's probably not the best place to do it. And I guess that was slightly disappointing. I really enjoyed meeting a bunch of people that I've interacted with on YouTube and that sort of thing. And occasionally, for example, I got to pick up an Air CDs for like 5 seconds before the booth was full of people and I had to put it away and you couldn't play it anyways. But at least I felt the neck and went, okay, that's something I might want to buy. But that's it. That's all you're going to get for most of the booths. There's a couple exceptions, but for the most part, you can look at stuff and you just walk around and it's fine. But
Were there amps there? Like I didn't see with the guitar display. I mean, again, I'm just through YouTube videos, but I didn't see like a bunch of amps there either. So even if you played it, you would be able to plug it in, would you?
yeah,
Most booths that had amps would have like one chair by like 1 or 2 amps.
yeah,
And some booths did not even have any. So yeah. Like Ibanez booth was really not set up for you to play anything. Stuff was just hanging on the walls for you to look at.
Yep.
Ernie Ball was not set up for you to play anything. Again, there was some amps, but it was like on like a little stage area, right? So it's clearly not intended for just anyone to go grab a guitar and play. So yeah, and the Fender booth, like I showed, you could take an Acoustasonic and you could go take that into the room and play it. But if you wanted to play the custom shop guitars, they were roped off.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. A few people mentioned that. It's like, yeah, they're great. I wish I could touch them.
Yeah. And it turned out you could ask for permission to touch them, and they might let you if they thought you were a trustworthy person. But you know, it's that alone is enough to turn most people away, which is probably their goal.
Right. But you were saying, Chris, you just really checked out the one day.
Yeah, I went the first day. I probably walked around pretty much the whole day. So I got there at, I don't know, 10, picked up a pass. And then from 10:30 to probably 6, just did laps. I mean, it's enormous. Yeah. And apparently I still missed a ton of stuff because when watching other people's videos, I saw brands where I went, oh, man, I didn't know that brand was there. And I thought I did a pretty exhaustive lap, but apparently I blew that. But yeah, after a day, I kind of had enough of it. So I just had a nice California vacation instead. Because,
well, yeah, man.
Yeah, what else am I going to do? I didn't want to go look at the same booths, and I knew I couldn't play anything. So I kind of felt like, okay, well, my options are now go harass people like constantly. Because you do see people that you're like, man, I recognize that person, or whoa, there's a famous guitar player right there. But I'm not really the type of person that wants to go up and say, hey, man, I saw you on so-and-so. It's not. I'm sure they have plenty of that, so I'll give them a little break. But yeah, I felt like I was kind of done with it by day one. It's a lot.
Wow. What was your experience like, Cheddar?
So the first day, I just kind of wandered around as a guitar fan, and at the end of that day, I told my wife, I'm like, I don't know if this was a good trip. I don't know if this was worthwhile, because I felt like I hadn't really accomplished anything after the first day. I hadn't really played any guitars that I wanted to play. I hadn't checked out any new stuff that I wanted to check out. I was like, man, you know, what was this all a waste? Did I just waste, like, I don't even know how much I spent on that trip, like $2,000 or whatever, you know? But then the second day I was like, okay, I'm going to go help Henning film videos and focus on actually getting footage for my own vlog that I then end up putting together. Yeah. And then basically I spent the rest of the show shooting videos and going around shooting videos and meeting people because I was shooting videos with Henning. And then it ended up being a worthwhile trip because I made more friends and I felt like I accomplished something. But just going as a guitar fan, wanting to check out gear and wanting to check out guitars. And if you don't have somebody to introduce you to the brands, you know, or you can't say like, hey, I'm this guy with 200,000 subs or whatever. Right. You're kind of an outsider, and you're not, or at least personally, I was not getting what I wanted out of it. And like I said in my video, if what you want is to check out gear and play gear, what you should do is go to Gear Fest at Sweetwater instead, because there, like, everything's set up for you to play and try, and everything's on sale too and marked down. So if you play something you like, you can just buy it.
Yeah, you can't buy anything at NAMM. So yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as buying, what I've heard, and you guys would maybe know better, is apparently the offshore stuff that is in the lower levels on the last day. You know, what I keep hearing is they don't want to send. It's cheap. It's cheaper for them to sell it there than to send it back.
I believe that, but the higher end stuff on minute one. So I assume this all happened either the previous day when regular people weren't allowed in. Every guitar that was nice had a sold sign on it immediately. It said sold to
such and such dealer,
some dealer. So don't touch this. Be like hands off. It's sold. And for example, I would say like 80% of the high-end ESPs had that sign on them. A bunch of
the whole PRS booth had that.
All of them were gone.
All of the Fender custom shops had that. So like the only brands that might fall into that you can buy stuff on the last day so they don't have to ship it home are the brands that are in the basement level, like the cheap Chinese brands and stuff, and like maybe some lesser known luthiers or whatever. But the chances are those luthiers are the ones like Macmull or whatever, where the guitars are like $5 or $6 or $7 grand anyway. So you know, nobody's got a $300 Squire Classic Vibe that wasn't sold.
Yeah. All right, let me just say hello to some more people that popped in. Brian Cote is here. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. Will Varela. Yeah, tequila. Yes. Cyber Evil is here. Zip Fix Guitars. Nice to see you. Dry Heat 480. Frank Corcoran. How's everybody doing? Let me just refresh this because it says 27, but I don't see 27. Okay. Todd A.K. Soda Pop is here. Jamal Kareem. Gussie Wells. Thanks, everybody, for popping in. BB Ninja, salut. Oh, Guitar Pit's here.
Whoa.
Bob Mozzie's here. Nice to see you. Mitch Heyman. Hey, buddy. Okay, I think I've caught everyone.
Buck Lester just asked, can anyone go to Gearfest at Sweetwater? Yes, it's open to the public. And I believe the last 2 years they had like 15,000 people go.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's more than I thought.
Yeah, it's free to get in. No entrance fee at all. There's another thing that they do but way better than NAMM is there's bottled water in ice tubs everywhere. You can just pick up and drink whenever you're thirsty.
Yeah, I almost starved to death.
Yeah.
It was getting dire. Yeah.
It's $3 per bottle of water at NAMM.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I said, at Gearfest, everything is there for you to try and figure out what you like.
Yeah, and that's in Indiana, right?
Yeah, it's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And like people like Dave Friedman and whoever, Paul Reed Smith, like are there to talk to you, the customer, at that event.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas at NAMM, they're there to talk to dealers. Right.
Okay.
And so that also leads to a lot of kind of awkward interactions because my badge said guest buyer. And so I talked to, I was looking at the Plek machine, and the guy who runs Plek or whatever came over and was like, ooh, let me give you this big pitch. And I was like, dude, I'm just a random dude, man. I'm not going to buy a $200,000 Plek machine or whatever. But
I'll get in my car and drive home.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I understand that it's a waste of their time too, because they're there to meet dealers. So I just felt a little uncomfortable kind of going around because it just came off as a little weird, I thought. But
yeah.
And BV Ninja just said it. NAMM is a trade show for industry, not really for ordinary guitar players. That's exactly it. Like if you're not going as a dealer, a manufacturer, a distributor, an artist, like who's there to get endorsements or whatever, or as a YouTuber to network, then and make videos, then it's not going to be what you want.
Yeah, let me just say hello to some more people. Janice Lala is here. Hey, Janice. JP Page 2, nice to see you. Again, hello, Buck Lester. Brad Miller's here. Hey, Brad. Let's see if I'm catching everyone. Dennis Bro, nice to see you. James Severin, hello. Okay, I think I caught everyone. We got 30 people watching at the moment, so there you go. More than 5.
Lefty Mike just asked me, have I reviewed the guitar that I bought on Guitar Pit's episode Let's Buy a Guitar? So I don't know how much. Yeah, so I don't know how much of that story you know. So I made a video just after that on my channel explaining that the Epiphone V that I made an offer on, the guy wrote me back and said, "Sorry, I already sold it." So that was out, and I had done a bunch of research and found out that those Epiphone Carina Vs aren't actually made out of Carina. They're just a Carina veneer, and then like who knows what wood in the middle.
That blew my mind.
Yeah,
that seems like actual lawsuit material.
And the neck is maple, and the neck is maple. Whereas on Epiphone's website, it says Carina. It's not.
Doesn't claim that anywhere. Because I when you told me that, I kind of rolled my eyes and thought, there's no way they're just doing that. I'm going to double check that, and 100% right. It says Carina everywhere, and then there's people mad on forums posting about it.
And as far as I can tell, the Joe Bonamassa one that's going for even more now is the same deal, where it's a maple neck, it's a Carina veneer, but it's not Carina in the middle. Yeah. So I'm not buying one of those now that I know that. I would have bought that one that I put an offer on and just like been like, hey, look, I found out after the fact this isn't actually Carina, but since that one was already sold, I'm not going to buy some other one.
And the Gibson one was what, like $8,000?
Yeah. So if you look for actual like Carina Gibsons, like minimum price is like $8,000. Yeah. But in the premiere guitar video that they did with Gibson just recently, they have new lines of Explorers and Vs that are out now that are mahogany, and they are trying to source Carina to do Carina ones. So hopefully in the next year or so, we might see a Carina Vs and Explorers coming out of Gibson again.
Out of Gibson, I saw that. Yeah.
So that video was very delayed.
Yeah. So the guitar that I ended up buying was this one, which the review comes out tomorrow on my channel. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he misclicked and added a 0 onto the.
We were supposed to do a $250.
Yeah. So, like, what was there anything specific that you wanted to get your hands on? I know you couldn't at the end of it, but specific that you wanted to get your hands on when you went and checked it out?
Sorta.
Both of you guys.
Sorta. Okay, so Acacia had this, it was like a holographic top. If you've seen any of the NAMM videos that go by the Acacia booth, you'll see it immediately. It looks like quilted maple, but it's apparently carbon fiber or something. Right. And I found the website where they're sourcing it. It's like this guy who makes these weird, I don't know, polymers and carbon fibers and stuff, but they're wild looking. And that guitar was hypnotizing. I mean, I just couldn't stop looking at it. It was the weirdest piece of anything I've ever seen. it was just so cool. He said, I believe that one was sold. I emailed him the other day and he said he'll make me one though. So maybe I'll give that a shot, but I don't think that's cheap. So, but if you haven't seen, look up Acacia Nam. I know Gear Gods has a video on it, and it is the weirdest material I've ever seen. It's totally wild. So that would be my easy pick from the whole show, because that's the only thing I saw the whole time there where I went, what is that? And that's kind of what I was hoping for by going there. So yeah, that one wins for me.
Cool. What about you, Cheddar?
Well, so if you mean things I wanted to try everything I got to try. Nothing. But for things I left wanting to get, I think I might want to get a Friedman Metro D, which is their short scale set neck guitar.
Pax played one, right? He had a video playing one.
I played 2 Friedmans thus far. Don't ask me what the model name.
But Metro's the single cut one.
It was a set neck. Yeah.
Was it a telly shape?
It's like a telly-ish shape with a set neck, because they have an actual like telly with a bolt on.
Okay, I think what I tried was I think it was that one, and it was relic, and it had 2 humbuckers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's the same one that you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe
and there was
not.
one that was kind of a Les Paul looking thing.
That's the Metro D.
Yeah, that's a Metro D.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have
that thing. It felt pretty good.
Yeah, I really liked the one I played. So might have one of those coming later this year, and it's not going to be an immediate thing, but yeah, I talked to Dave and I talked to some of the other people at Friedman booth and was like, I really like this guitar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I of the 2, surprisingly, me being a Les Paul guy, I like the Telly one actually.
Fair.
I like the Telly Friedman. Yeah.
Telly's got a big neck on it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't too big for me. It was okay.
Weird.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, surprisingly, it was. Yeah, yeah. But you're saying you couldn't touch any of the guitars. Now, there's been all kinds of stuff. Okay, me being a Gibson guy, of course, I was kind of focusing on all that footage. And with all the Gibson tables, like you were able to pick those ones up, weren't you?
Yeah, Gibson did it right this year. Yep. Which is awesome to see. They had everything out and everything available to play, even custom shop stuff. Like you could just take it off the wall and play it. The downside, the one thing they didn't do right was they constantly had loud music playing, sometimes by somebody on the stage. So you couldn't hear yourself at all, but you could like pick it up and try it, see how it felt. But there was no way to hear yourself in that room.
Friedman was the only people with a silent booth, right?
Yeah, Friedman. Well, Boutique Amp Distribution had 2 rooms, one for Morgan, one for Friedman, where if you wanted to, you could like basically get in line, grab one of their guitars or bring any guitar that you could bring over there, and you'd get rotated in to try out their amps, and they had like all their amps.
Yeah. And
then they'd close the door and you could, play away.
Right. But there was no amps in the Gibson area either, was there?
And as far as I saw, and even if there were, you wouldn't have been able to hear yourself because the music was so loud in there.
So, some of those booths had little like headphone sort of things. I saw some of that going around. That may have been the case at Gibson, but
I didn't see any of that at the Gibson one. It was just stools and...
Yeah, Kiesel had like 3 amps right next to each other. So you can imagine how that sounded. It was just like 3 dudes doing like 8-finger tapping. Like
it probably sounded really sick.
Yeah, it was sick.
Probably sounded super sick.
Yeah.
But the Kiesel booth, you could pick those up off the wall. That was nice.
Yeah.
But again, very crowded, hard. Could never sit down. We saw a lot of people like squatting, trying to play guitar in the corner, like.
Yep. Or doing the move that I did with the 594 hollow body, which was like trying to stand and play it.
Yeah.
And that didn't really work, so I couldn't really get a feel for it.
Yeah.
We got a 64 T-Bird is here. Jeff Underwood, nice to see you. RJ the Mad One, how are you? Four Walls Music is here. I'm hoping to catch everyone. Did I miss anyone? Just quickly zipping down. Oh, BV Ninja saying Guitar Hack. John Sir had a silent room, but only for the dealers. So there you go.
Yeah, it was invite only. Sir and Schechter were both like invite only. And and Ernie Ball had like a Ball family reserve room that was invite only. I got to go into the Ball family reserve room and the Schechter room with Henning, but I didn't get to see the Sir room.
I was wondering where Schechter was. I guess that.
Yep, they had invite only room.
It's kind of sad and weird.
There's a video coming that Henning and I shot. But what was interesting was that their invite only room only had like their more high end stuff, like from around $1,000 up to like $8,000 or $9,000 guitars.
$9,000 Schechter.
Yeah, from the Schechter custom shop.
Oh
wow. Okay.
Wow. Blues Boy Kentucky, welcome. Is asking, hey guys, do you set up string heights on your action the same, or do you vary the heights on the bass and treble sides?
So for me, I go as low as I can without too much buzzing.
Yeah.
So sometimes on some guitars that's equally low on both sides, but I'd say more of the time it's a bit lower on the treble side, which I think is typical.
I think that's regular. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thicker low E string, you got to go a little bit higher sometimes. Yeah. Robert Clark is here. Hey Robert, I'm Sucking Wind is here. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions for Cheddar, the Guitar Pit, or Guitar Hack, myself, just please tag us. And then I'll be able to see those questions.
Will Varela said he was really disappointed in the Kramers. Will, were you there? Did you get to try them and you didn't like them? Or were you just disappointed in the selection that Gibson brought? I'm not like a big Kramer person, but I thought the purple one looked cool. And Steve from Boston, who is a big Kramer person, seems pretty psyched about him. So
yeah, like that whole 80s thing, right? I mean, you know, if that's sort of what you came up with, that's sort of your thing, you know what I mean? But if you're not, then
yeah. You know, I was really excited to see the Jacksons, and I think they were all import, which I thought was weird. Were there any American like Jacksons that you saw? I don't think so,
but I wasn't looking for it really.
That was like one of the things I was kind of excited to see, because I've never seen like a big spread of them, and none. It's all imports.
That is really weird.
Yeah.
You know.
Lefty Mike says, do you plan to keep the Godin? I sold it today.
I was going to ask that too.
I posted a lot of stuff the last 2 days, and some of it I don't want to sell, so it's priced accordingly. You'll go, what a ripoff, and it's because I don't want you to buy it. But if somebody wants to pay enough, I'll part with anything. But yeah, I hope it doesn't come off as I didn't like a guitar, so I needed to sell it. I need to sell it because new guitars aren't free. So,
well, yeah, you kind of like the Godin from what I
did. It was awesome, and the guy who bought it paid less than I did, so that's like a steal.
Yeah.
But whatever, right? Yeah, so I got to move that, and then I posted the Sir Modern, but I don't think anybody will buy it for what I posted.
Well, I can see you got the fly hanging there. I don't think you want to get rid of that anytime.
I posted that too, but I really gouge on that. That's a guitar that I don't like that guitar at all, because it stabs me. It like legitimately hurts me to play. Right. After I did the review, I had like a bruise, like a silver dollar bruise on my chest, because it just jabs me. But it's so easy to play, and it's such a cool design that I want it as like really expensive wall art. But if somebody wants to overpay for it, then I gotta get rid of it.
Cal Bear 721 is here. He's asking about the Jeff Loomis signature.
I didn't notice it.
Is that? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking about Keith Merrill. What's the Loomis one? I'll look it up.
Jeff Loomis signature. That's not. I know I'm gonna get it wrong because I'm bad with names. What's the name of that guy that demoed the? He's got an Epiphone signature, Gibson Epiphone. That's not Jeff Loomis.
Jared James Nichols.
There you go.
Yeah,
I know it was a J. So I figured it.
Jared Loomis is the Nevermore guy, I think, right?
Yeah. Jared James Nichols has a cool Epiphone, and he was staying at my hotel. Someone had asked, "Did you see any famous musicians?" So while Guitar Pit and I and his friend were hanging out in the lobby of our hotel, Billy Gibbons checked into our hotel.
Wow.
And somehow my brain said, don't bother him, don't bother him. And so I didn't go over and say, oh my God, I've been a fan literally my entire life. Thank you for all the great music. I didn't bother him, and I kind of regret it because I never saw him again the whole show.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if you get a chance, don't sleep on it. Go say hi to your heroes and tell them you love them.
Yeah. Well, he posted, or somebody posted a video of him. He did a Gibson event where he was performing.
Yep.
A bunch of guys just come on, and Jimmy Vivino from
he was staying at our hotel too.
Yeah, he was up there with them, and then he was bringing on these different players, and so he was doing a Gibson promotion there, which is very cool. Yeah, he's an awesome player, man.
Will Varela said that he was disappointed in the colors of the Kramers and that they were made in China instead of Japan or Korea. Yeah, I guess I get that. I mean, but I think we're at the point now where Japanese guitars cost way more than $1,000, more like $2,000, and Korean guitars are shooting past $1,000 now, unfortunately. So
they're running out of places for cheap labor, man.
We're gonna have guitars made on the moon soon.
Yeah. Hey, Showman Blues, nice to see you, man. Dry Heat 480, nice to see you. Jack Clark is here. Jack Clark is saying Jeff Loomis is an arch enemy now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Aren't they the jerks who had the beef with that photographer? Arch enemy.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Right?
Facebook,
yeah. Soda Pop, did you get a Vigier? Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Want to see it?
Chris is now French.
At least he pronounces it properly.
Vigier. It's kind of pretentious. Is I like saying like guacamole?
Don't you have to say Vigier?
I think I'm gonna call it Vigier.
Yeah, Vigier.
Yeah, it is totally sweet, to be honest. It's I was kind of skeptical this would be nice, but this carbon rod it works a lot better than my other guitars. I had to do a ton of tuning on my Friedman Cali yesterday. None to this guitar. The downside is it has DiMarzio pickups and they don't sound that good. So pickups might have to go, but this neck and overall like the hardware and everything on this is unbelievable. So very, very cool guitar, but maybe I'm just not a DiMarzio guy.
I like the satin on that.
Yeah, and the body is so smooth, and the neck is it's so unbelievably nice.
With the Marzios, it probably sounds really great dirty, but not so great clean. Am I right?
That's exactly right. The heavy tone on this is awesome because this is like a tone zone in the bridge, but when you're trying to get cleans out of it, it just I don't know. It's not doing it for me at all. You know what it sounds like is makes sense is all the Ibanez guitars I grew up playing, and you try to get a clean and you go like, whoa, that is sterile and weird. And this, it's got a little of that, but otherwise, well, I don't know.
Friedman pickups,
maybe, or I got to be honest. My easy number one pick is the Sir Antique. Where is it? That guy has thornbuckers. And
I was just going to say thornbuckers.
He has thornbuckers and an ML in the middle. And that, for my taste, is easily my best sounding guitar, I would say, by a wide margin.
But don't the thornbuckers cost like twice as much as the Friedman pickups?
That's probably true. I don't think if you buy them used, they're not
as bad.
I think they're like you could probably get them for $250 for a set, maybe.
I saw you and Brian Cote going back and forth about locking tuners on the vintage T. Doesn't it already have locking tuners?
I don't know. I don't think
my Friedman already has locking tuners. They look like vintage tuners, but they are locking.
I do not think mine are.
Did you ever change the strings on it?
I don't think I did.
They look so the Friedman tuners look exactly so those Friedman tuners look exactly like vintage tuners, but they are locking.
So you put them through the middle and then it just locks?
Yeah, when you tighten it, it should lock automatically. It might require a little fiddling, but they are locking already. You don't need to replace them. They're already locking tuners.
I can't even read what it says. It looks like it's...
They don't look like locking tuners.
So you think these are definitely locking tuners? I don't know.
Yeah, they are. The ones on the Friedman are already locking tuners.
So how does that work? There's no like locking mechanism on the back.
So the post is the locking mechanism. The post, if you take the string off, you can turn the post separately from the key. And how it should work, and mine, one of the strings didn't quite work automatically this way, is you put it through and you start tightening it and it will automatically lock down. One of mine, I had to manually kind of turn the post to get it to tighten and then turn the key, but they really are already locking. They just don't look like locking tuners and don't have a separate dial.
I assumed they weren't locking because the factory strings on them had like 10 wraps on them, but
some people just do the mini wrap thing.
Yeah.
But trust me, I changed the strings on my Vintage S already, and they are locking. It was confusing to me at first, but they really are.
It seemed sort of set up on that ESP I had. They were Gotha regular tuners, but the first twist locks it in, and it's done. And then when you take them off, you have to undo it with like a screwdriver or something. I saw a bunch of questions.
Let me just say hello to R2R3. He's here. Nice to see you, buddy. Jason Wade has also stepped in. Thank you so much, guys, everyone, for popping in.
Shout out R2R3.
What's up, R2R3? What's up, dude?
Little J1. Nice to see you. That's a new name. How are you? Yeah. So you literally need a screwdriver?
No, you don't.
For the Gotha ones. These
ones you don't.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Will Varela asked, "Did I check out the FU Tone guitars?" I did not. I like literally the only guitars I got to play while I was there, because I made a point to play them and like really like put effort in, was the Friedman Metro D. I sort of got to play the PRS 594 hollow body, but I was like standing up playing like this, so I don't even really count it. Yeah. And I played some Mac Mulls, which were amazing, but I resisted buying any of them, even though I really wanted to buy their Telly style one with P90s.
Even the lowest end one, right?
Was like $5,000.
Oh yeah, that's G.
Yeah, but it was so good. It was so good. I played a $10,000 Nick Huber Orca 59. I loved that, but I resisted buying one of those as well. $10,000.
You probably knocked like $60 off of it just by touching it.
Are you kidding me? I'm famous, world famous YouTuber Cheddar Kung Pao. It's worth like $20,000 now.
Yeah, triple.
That's right. It's got his DNA on it.
Yeah. It's got my mojo now.
That's it. China Guitar Skeptic is here.
Oh,
how are you? Thanks for popping in, man. John Parson, Bama Guitar Hammer. Nice to see you. Welcome. Ivan Carter, how are you? Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions, please tag us, because we got 49 people now, so easier to see. At Cheddar Kung Pao, at The Guitar Pit, or at Guitar Hack, and then we can see it.
And by the way, I'm a moderator now, and so if you start trolling, you're getting timed out at least. So
big dealing over here, huh?
No, not big dealing. I'm just I don't tolerate a-holeness.
Cheddar's got the hammer, folks. Be warned.
Yeah. If you haven't seen how I moderate on the Stitch Method and Sean Daniels chats, or on my own,
there you go.
No negativity, people.
Yeah,
keep it positive.
Let's keep it happy. It's YouTube. It's supposed to be a fun place. Let's get that right. Brian Landreth is here too. Don't worry. Well, so you guys are really putting a blanket on this whole idea of going to Summer NAMM. You can't touch nothing. You can't play nothing. There ain't no amps.
Well, I can't speak like how different like Summer NAMM is, because I haven't been to that one. But if it's like Winter NAMM, don't go expecting to get to try a bunch of guitars, or you'll be bummed out like we were.
Well, you know, for me, you know where I'm headed. Number one, I'm going right for the Les Pauls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. It's really exciting what's happening with Gibson. I'm really happy that they seem to be, you know, the fact, like I made a video about it, the fact that they are turning the traditional into the standard, which is what, you know, kind of predicted would happen if they did what some people wanted them to do, and they're not raising the price, they might actually be lowering it, is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, if they drop it, because the tradition, what I'm thinking, and I think I heard them say it as well, is basically the standards are the traditionals. And the traditionals that they've sold have always been a little lower than what the standards were. So if they're pricing, you can follow this, and they're pricing the new standards at the traditional prices, then it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is they're actually, what they're talking about is pricing it lower than what the traditionals have been. Like right now, the traditional is like 27 or 2,800 US, and it seems like they're trying to even come in below that. So, well, that's exciting, I think.
RJ the Mad One is saying, "Why did I decide on Guitar Hack for my tag? MAL, laughing my ass off. Because it's true." That's why I call myself Guitar Hack. EJ's Guitars is here. He's asking a question. Do your current Les Pauls play different from one another? Yeah, they all do. It's funny. I did a video a long time ago, and I don't even have the same Les Pauls as I have now. And I A/B'd them all. And there were sound differences. There were. Even if they had the same pickups. So like my, 2005 standard with First Bucker Pros compared to a 2016 standard with First Bucker Pros, and they sound different. They all sound different. They all have, it's you know what? It's a really, really weird thing because they all have that they all sound like Les Pauls, but different at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got a question about, did I go to the Taylor booth? No, I didn't. I got a lanyard from the Martin booth, but I didn't play the guitars at either. He's asking about their new Grand Pacific guitar, Little J1. I haven't played one yet. My buddy who works at Sweetwater said that it's pretty awesome. For me, so if anybody doesn't know, Taylor just released a model called the Grand Pacific. It's like kind of like a dreadnought, but it comes in more at the waist, like their Grand Auditorium. So it's like trying to balance the tone between like the mid-focus, brighter Grand Auditorium and the bassy dreadnought, but it's still basically dreadnought sized. So I think for me, it's probably still going to be a bit big, but I will try one at GearFest if I don't try one before then.
Brian Cote is saying, Guitar Hack, if you go to Nashville, you can go right to the Gibson factory and skip NAMM. Yeah. I don't know if they have tours there for regular people, because I remember reading or hearing somewhere that they don't do tours. They only do tours for companies. So I don't know if that's true, but if there's a Nashville tour, the Gibson plant, man, I'm there. So that's something to check out. RJ Van is here. Nice to see you. It's another new name.
Yeah, he's saying my tuners are definitely not locking. RJ, I will do a review very soon and test it. So we'll find out.
Dude, I have a Friedman right behind me. You have the same tuners I have. They are locking.
Listen!
You never know.
Don't argue with me. No, I do know. Don't argue with me.
These are limited release non-locking.
Do I need to clip the strings off and show you, dummies?
Get it going.
Come on.
Listen when I talk.
Yeah.
Brad Miller's saying, how much does my classic with P90s weigh? Mine is just over 10 pounds. Yeah. I haven't weighed mine, but it's probably close. It's funny because they're supposed to be weight relieved, but I don't think they are, man. Or very little weight relieved.
It's relieved from 14 down to 10.
That's
maybe.
Much. That's too much.
You know what, though? I don't know, man. It's funny. I'm so used to playing those things that when I put on even the SG, it's almost like a toy. I'm used to the mass. I don't know.
Fair enough. So the Strandberg kind of feels like a toy, but I kind of got used to it and started to really like it. And then I would pick up. Right now, I think the heaviest is the Sur Modern, and I would pick that up off the wall and go, whoa, this thing is heavy. So,
well, what do you think that one weighed?
It's like eight and change. It's not super heavy, but the Strandberg was 4.5. So that's a pound lighter than the Parker. So that's really light. But I kind of got used to it for the week. I was playing that thing really hard, but
yeah.
Anything under 7, I really like. Like the Cali is barely. It's like 6.999 or something. So.
Which begs the question. I mean, are you playing standing or are you playing sitting? Like,
no, I'm playing sitting most of the time, so it doesn't even matter. But it's just
that's what I'm getting at. Like the weight would be more because you're standing up playing, but you even like it lighter regardless, eh?
Yeah. It just feels so heavy, and I feel like they maybe resonate a little differently when they're light. I don't know how true that is, but it definitely. Like, I feel like the Cali is really resonant because maybe it's real light and weird, but I don't know. Sounds good, though. It's cool.
Some Dave Dude is here. How are you? Thanks for coming in. BB Ninja is saying, Cheddar Kong, this is for you and me, Cheddar. The Reedman tuner. Oh, he's talking about the Reedman tuners are hip shot locking tuners.
Do I have to get the clippers out?
No, I mean they really are locking tuners. It's deceiving because they don't have the dial everybody's used to, but they really are.
Sure.
Hey, Dave,
I know it's possible.
Is here. Dave R's guitars. Yeah, he's like me. He's like laugh out loud. 8 pounds. He goes lightweight. Yeah, he's into the heavy guitars too.
Yeah.
I mean, like Robert Baker's Les Paul is like what 13 pounds or 12 pounds or something crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
Didn't Caesar All Guitars?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't
his
he have
Yamaha,
like a Yamaha?
his Yamaha, I think he said was like 13 pounds.
At least. I
remember
thinking when he said it, I was like, that's the heaviest I've ever heard of a guitar.
Yeah.
Like that's
crazy.
Cool. And he loves it. He says
it's his favorite.
Best guitar he's ever played. So
it's his favorite.
Yeah.
13.
Dave R's guitar has a 74 that's 11.5 pounds.
Woo! Getting up there.
Yep.
There you go. Everybody's now talking about how heavy their guitars were. It's like,
I'll happily admit. I'll happily admit to being a guitar wimp. I just go for the lighter ones. They're more comfortable.
Yeah, I think the heaviest one I own is actually my Classic, which is supposed to be weight relieved. It's heavier than my Les Pauls for sure. Yeah.
Dennis mentioned the acrylic guitars. Those I've seen those. 20 pounds. They go way up.
Well, I grabbed an acrylic. It was an acrylic gem, and oh man, that's some weight right there. Yeah, I don't know if I could stand and play a whole set with that. Not that I would, because it's not really my type of guitar. But still, just the mass of it would tear me down.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Brian Cote wants a live string change. Okay, showdown live string change.
race string change.
Yeah,
live string change. Let's prove it. Let's make sure that they are in fact.
That would be the most boring 15-minute live stream ever.
let's all change strings, shall we?
And they are locking. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And what have you won?
That's bad.
To be honest, though, I find the actual vintage ones, like my Telly and my Strat, have to be like some of the easiest to change the string on, where you put it down the middle and just go like this. It's just as easy as a normal locking tuner, I think, the vintage style.
You know, I still do the wraps even with locking tuners, and I know they tell you don't have to, but I always do. I always put a minimum 2, but mainly at least 3. Usually, I go.
Oh, really?
I know, it's just. I just feel safer. I don't know what to tell you.
I watched a video that the PRS PTC, like their technical center, put out about changing strings, and they said that they recommend 1 to 1.5 wraps around their locking tuners. So that's about what I do. And they don't say it's for safety. They just said so that it has better contact with the post.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If the factory is saying 1 to 1.5, I guess I'll do 1 to 1.5.
Yeah, no, yeah, Dave R is saying he does that on the unwound strings. He doesn't do it on the wound. I do that on all strings. Always 2 to 3 wraps. You know, I don't know, just been doing that.
RJ Van's not letting it go. I'm going to show you guys.
Oh, it's happening.
He's still going. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, wait. First, oh, he doesn't have his headphones on.
Oh,
Okay, first you have to demonstrate which tuners you have.
All right, so look at the back of the headstock. This is a little awkward.
Oh, those look very similar.
It's the same ones.
Pretty similar, right?
Right,
Okay.
and then look at the top. Look at the top. There isn't actually a hole there. There's the split. The light's not so good from this way. Let's try this way. So, like, there's not. It looks like the vintage ones, but there's not actually a hole there.
I have really bad news for you.
Yeah,
there is a hole on mine.
There is a hole on yours.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Maybe yours aren't.
Let's find out.
All the other free ones are.
Wow. All right, so we are changing strings on the
We're doing.
I'm just gonna take the one off and show what these ones are.
Right. Okay, everybody in the chat, you want to place your bets now?
Yeah, I know what RJ Van's bet is on.
Yeah, right.
We're almost here.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Okay.
Oh, Base Hiroshima Nick, while these guys are changing strings, hello.
Hello to everybody in the chat.
Hello to everyone in the chat while we change some strings.
Not locking.
Yours are not? Oh, man, I was wrong.
You were wrong, and you have to now wear a sign for a week about how wrong you were.
Yeah, right? These ones are, though.
Let me answer this question while you guys are debating that. So Jamal Kareem asked, actually all three of us, what do you use to clean condition your fretboards? Rosewood mainly. Well, if it's maple, you just have to clean it. You don't have to, hang on. You don't have to lubricate. I don't know if you can see. You see that? That's what I use. It's fretboard. It's called Ultimate Lemon Oil, and that's what I use to lubricate my rosewood fretboards. It's nice because you got a top that comes off, and then there's this little spongy thing. If you can see that, and the idea is
that's cool.
Put that on your fretboard, and then you kind of wait a minute because if your fretboard's really dry, it'll literally just drink it all in. You know, and then you just wipe off the axis. So I don't really clean the fretboard as much as I kind of just put this on, wait a little bit, and then wipe off the axis. If it's a maple fretboard, then I'll just use the same guitar polish, which I'll show you. That's right here. Of course, it's made by Gibson. But yeah, Gibson World's Finest Pump Polish, it's called. So I'll use that on the maple fretboard. Okay, guys.
So just to show so apparently there are different ones in different Friedmans, but they look the same except for the hole being there. You can see this one, the post spins separately. You can see I'm turning it. And that's the locking mechanism on these.
Yeah.
Is that you tighten this down and it clamps on the string, and then, you know.
So Jack Daniels,
1101.
Yeah, 1101 said Vintage S on the website says they're locking, and
yeah.
I don't think that's the case. So my Cali has a Vintage T neck because it's hardtail, and I
that's so weird.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think they're locking, but
he doesn't have locking, but Vintage S does.
But Calis usually do have locking tuners. Mine does.
And somebody asked, did I buy mine new? Also, yeah, I did. So that's really weird. Sorry, I doubted you, RJ Van. You were right about the Vintage T all along.
There you go.
I should have never doubted you. I'll never correct you again about anything.
Got a good eye.
Brad Miller's asking all three of us, why are those new guitars all banged up? I don't think they'll get the Infinity Cats rating.
It's from a Robert Baker video.
Oh,
his kid was rating his guitars. It was pretty cute.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Cats.
Ask away, folks, if you've got questions for Guitar Pit.
Somebody wanted to know where we're buying guitars. I usually use Reverb, but even new stuff, like for example, the Cali was new and it was from a dealer, but I still bought it via Reverb. So,
so I buy a lot of my new guitars from Sweetwater, but I bought like this one off Reverb, and I bought, I think. Yeah, so other than this one, I think they're all from Sweetwater, pretty much. My Telly's from eBay from 2002.
That's why it's cursed.
Yeah, right? Though I had the realization today, Friedman just came out with traditional style Telly pickups, like the 2 single coils. So I was thinking about ordering a set of those and putting them in there.
And you're at least 8 out of 10 on the neck?
I love the neck. I love that neck.
Well, then... it might be worth a shot.
If I can make it sound the way I want.
You like the chunkier necks, Cheddar?
Yeah. So I've got an AVRI neck on there now, a 62 AVRI neck on the Telly now, which is fairly chunky. It's not super chunky, but it's fairly chunky.
Your Les Paul, is that it must be
traditional
a profile.
Yeah, it's a traditional 50s. Yeah.
Okay. You haven't sold it yet, have you?
No, I haven't. It's in the case over there. And that's actually one of the thinner necks that I have nowadays.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the maintenance front, I use F1 oil like Cesar does. When I first got my PRS SE Custom 24 like a couple of years ago, my wife for that Christmas got me like a whole guitar maintenance kit from what's it called, Music Nomad or whatever, whoever makes F1 oil, and so that came with a whole bunch of stuff that I thought was pretty good products.
Are you still going to sell that though, or have you?
Well, I think people have convinced me. If my teacher doesn't buy it, which I'm still letting him have an offer on it if he wants it, because I said I would. If he doesn't buy it though, I think I'm going to hang on to it.
That's a wise choice, my friend.
I think everyone's convinced me.
Yeah, because you'll regret it.
Showman asked if you bought the Friedman from Sweetwater, did you get a discount? No, Sweetwater will not give a discount on Friedman. My wife and family actually got me that Friedman for my 40th birthday. So I don't think they got a discount.
Yeah. A couple of the places I asked just said hard no. The only exception is a lot of people on Reverb break that rule because they have 15% off everything sales pretty often. So that's going to be your best bet usually, is waiting for one of there's one on Valentine's Day. So if, for example, Pitbull Audio, and there's a couple other Reverb stores that always have 15% off, for example, like Music Man, that's the only time you're going to get 15% off like a BFR or something like that they're never on sale. So if you check Reverb and get in on one of those sales, that's the best you're going to do.
I asked for a discount. Like I almost bought a Les Paul in the weekend. I posted a video.
I saw that. You stayed strong though.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
You resisted.
It was just too similar though, right? I mean, I get that. Yeah. If it's like identical, who cares?
Well, I gotta hand it to Jason Wade. He talked me off the cliff, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he pointed out the obvious, and sometimes that's what you need, especially when you're in the throes of like, I gotta have this now.
Yeah.
But I asked like an idiot. It's a 2019, so I go like, "Is there like a discount on this?" And they kind of looked at me like, "Really?" It's the usual line. We promise that this is the best price, and you won't get it anywhere less than this.
Well, sometimes it is, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask. I really wanted another ill-conceived guitar I shouldn't have even been looking at, but for a minute I thought I was going to buy one of those Devin Townsend Stormbender Fremis guitars, and that guitar was like $4,000, and I don't really even know what's an appropriate offer on something like that. And so I just asked them like, hey, can you drop the price on this a little bit, thinking they'd say, yeah, $3,890 or something, and they said, yeah, we'll do $3,000. And I was like, whoa, okay, you're going to just hack off $1,000 like that. And then I came to my senses before I spent $3,000 on a very silly guitar. But so you never know.
Do any of your other guitars light up?
That one didn't light up. I would have been super disappointed.
Oh, well, that how could you even consider if it wasn't?
You gotta buy the master built, so that's $9,000. Maybe they'll cut that one down to 6.8.
Yeah, right.
Soda Pop is saying that I need an Explorer, not an effing Les Paul. So here's my response to that. I've said it before. I will not buy a guitar that I can't gig with. And could you imagine me walking into a bar with an Explorer? I mean, it's not quite as bad as me walking in with a BC Rich Warlock, but
that's what you need.
The thing is, here's the other problem with that. Like, I'm not a very tall guy, and if I walk in with an Explorer, like the guitar will be wearing me, I'll be wearing the guitar. It's just too big, right? They're great guitars, though. I play and you know what really surprised me is they are really ergonomic. They feel really comfortable, like if you're playing them, because that fin fits nicely kind of under your arm, and it actually feels really nice when you play. And they sound great, but they're just a little bit big for me. A little big. BB Ninja says I need a telly. BB Ninja, I own a telly. Yes, there are Fenders in
they're just banished to the basement.
No,
the room of
I'll tell you what happened, okay? So going back to I gig with everything I own. So we had a gig in the summertime, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the telly, because I played a lot. Actually, I did a lot of gigs with the telly, and then I switched over to Les Paul. So I was playing, most of the gigs this summer with all humbucker guitars, and then I decided to take the telly. And what a mistake that was, because everything I had set up was all dialed in for humbucker tone.
Yeah.
Les Paul, it just sounded like ass, right? And then, and not because it's a bad, just because I wasn't set up for it, pedal wise and amp wise, whatever.
It's a big tone shift.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. And then the whole night, you're up on stage, and it's like the whole night I'm fiddling knobs trying to get a decent tone, and it was just a disaster, right?
So that's what happened to me with the P90 guitar. Is it took me a ton of time and I eventually thought, okay, these sound pretty good, but I had to change all sorts of settings because they just sounded weird with the settings that I usually use for like humbucker stuff. For some reason, the P90s just sounded like
well, the
really
P90s
weird.
are a little bit of a tweak, but not. I don't like, at least for my setup, not that much of a tweak.
Yeah.
Not like Tally. Like that's a whole complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Yeah.
I got to tame down the high end a bit because they're a little more.
Yeah, they're real piercing. Like,
yeah. But man, it sounds good. Like I got, and I was having a lot of issues. I mean, it's well documented in my channel, trying to fight the whole noise thing. But man, I tell you, you throw a noise gate in there and problem solved, and the thing just sounds. Oh man, it sounds so good. They're just great pickups.
I've always had pretty. I know people hate noise gates, but I use one once in a while. It seems fine as long as you just dial it back a little bit. Then.
Like I'm a total noob for noise gate. Like I've never used one in my life, and I posted the question the other day, and I got a lot of recommendations, and one of them, BB Ninja actually, who's in the chat, recommended the ISP Decimator, and then there were a few others people were mentioning, and because I was always afraid to use them because I thought they sucked tone, because that's all I heard. They sucked tone. They sucked tone. But what tone was fine, man.
They can though. Once in a while, I have one that's attached to a gain pedal, and once in a while I'll be playing it and go like, man, this sounds kind of weird. And then I'll realize, oh, it's because the noise gate was up because that was where it needed to be on the last guitar.
Yeah.
And then once you dial it in, it's fine. But you can fall into a whoops, I didn't adjust it trap, I think, which is probably pretty easy.
And the other thing that you got to realize too with the noise gate is it's not going to zap everything.
Yeah,
there's always going to be a little bit there, but it's not enough that is going to disrupt what you're playing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you zap it entirely, now you're wiping out everything pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of like modern metal bands have those really aggressive noise gates that just hard cut off.
Yeah.
The second they stop chugging, but
Yeah, there's no echo, no reverberation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, BV Ninja. BV Ninja saying you're welcome. No, thank you for the tip, my friend. That really worked out. What's up, Doc? Hey, how are you? Thanks for popping in. Dennis Bro says, what do you guys think of Mr. McKnight's latest vid that modelers like Axe Effects and Kemper gear are the future? Are tube amps doomed?
I mean, he might be right. I mean, well, I would say this: they're the present, right? I don't even think they're the future. They're the present for like so many musicians, it seems. But personally, I'll go kicking and screaming into that future because I use the computer all day for my job. The last thing I want to do is menu diving and stuff when I'm trying to unwind playing guitar.
The one thing he didn't bring up, he didn't mention, was like the little guy, which, you know, would be guys like me. You know, the guy who plays the bars on the weekends, right? And, you know, I don't have a front of house guy. I don't have a PA that I can take my Axe Effects and Kemper and plug into. I don't have any of that, right? At the end of the day, I always have to have a cabinet on the stage at the end of the day because I'm not mic'd, right? So, you know, am I going to take a Kemper and hook it up to a cab on stage and do that? And then I would need a powered Kemper too, because, you know, there's passive and there's powered. So like I would have to have one that is powered. And then the other part of that is, you know, if that thing malfunctions, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? Like because I can't go in and if I hit a patch and something, whatever, the programming of it is messed up, I can't correct that on the fly. Whereas if I have a bad pedal, I can easily take it out of the chain.
Yeah, fair enough.
So on the fly, and I've got a real world example of this because the other guy in my band, not a camper, but he went and got a Boss Katana, and it's like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. So he bought like 100-watt head and a matching cab, and he did a few gigs with that, and it sounded great. But then one show, I don't know what or how, because he got, you know, the paddle board and, you know, the Katana to switch, you know, all his presets, whatever, and something messed up on it, and he couldn't recover from that. And so at the end of the day, he couldn't get a clean sound if his life depended on it, right? So, you know, I mean, that's the thing, you know, so it's a lot easier to diagnose and troubleshoot a pedal board on the fly than it is. So that's my perspective on it. I agree with what he said. Like if you're a gigging guy and you know you got a backline, you got a front of house guy, you got a PA. Oh, by all means, man. The less you carry, the better. But if you're just a weekend warrior like me, I don't think it makes sense.
Well, Blues Boy Kentucky says he has a Fractal AX8 and Friedman ASM 12, and I have that as well. And I guess it's about the same amount of gear to bring to a bar, and effectively it does the same thing. I mean, I guess that's stereo, but those speakers are so heavy. A Friedman ASM 12, I don't know. Somebody can look it up. It's got to weigh like 70 pounds. I have no idea, but it sounds really good. I don't have a tube amp here to compare it to, but I'd say it's awfully close to the real thing. So I think the reliability argument can be made both ways. Obviously, tubes and
yeah. I think if you're like in a recording environment, sure.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're a little guy, I still think pedals and tube amps is the way to go, right?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like guitar models, right? Like some people, I think it's personal preference. They both exist for a reason. But I do think that there's a strong argument to be made that digital modelers consume a lot less power, and there's the whole thing of environmental bans on things that are really wasteful, and that there's threats that could affect tube amps, but I'm not sure that that'll happen because it's such a niche market. But I guess we'll see.
It's a bit of a problem in the EU, though, right? I've heard people over there.
People are scared of it happening over there.
There's like auto shutoffs on amps and stuff like that. But how much
Yeah, they don't draw that much, man.
No, no, it's they draw a lot more than a solid state amp does.
Yeah. They probably don't draw more than like a PC, do they?
No, they don't. A gaming
800
PC,
watt power supply right here.
Yeah, gaming PC draws a lot more.
Yeah.
So it was bugging me. Sorry that I'm doing this, but it was bugging me that the string was just dangling there, so I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah. I got a few more people that joined in. Oh, Mark Dillon is here. Hey, Mark. Nice to see you. BV Ninja saying to us that the noise gate will mostly cut the higher transients.
Yeah, I saw
Interesting.
that.
Yeah. Brian Landreth agrees. You are so right, Hack. Yeah.
I mean,
agree with me. Yes.
Music to my ears.
Yeah. I agree with you too. I mean, like I prefer tube amps. Like I said, I work on computers all day, so I like using a tube amp for playing guitar. But
hey, Chad Boston, nice to see you. We got 60 people watching, guys. Mitch Heyman, hey man. Brian Stewart is here. Welcome, Brian.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for joining in, folks.
Yeah.
Hey, James. Okay, ready? On the count of 3, we all got to do the Quentin shout out. Okay, don't mess this up. Okay?
I don't know.
I don't even know what it is.
Just to say Quentin?
We just say Quentin on the count of 3. Ready?
Okay, you got it.
Okay, Quentin, record this because I know you will. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Quentin!
There you go.
There you go.
Barely got it.
You got it, buddy.
Close call.
Brad Miller, since I mostly play at church and there are not amps on stage, I use the Line 6, but did a live outdoor gig and used the amp. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, who's playing the most every week? Is there's a lot of worship music players. I wonder if we could survey people who are playing every week, whether it would be like the modelers would win or the
Well, okay, so the worship players, that's a different situation now, right? Because it's always the same venue.
That's true.
And they will always, okay, I shouldn't say always, but probably have a PA that's always sitting there, right?
Yeah.
So, you can get away with it there is what I'm saying. But when you show up to a bare stage and you bring in your own PA, and you want to be kind of compact because you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Brian Stewart says
ordered a Kiesel.
Ordered his Kiesel.
Oh crap! What'd you get, Brian? I'll be right back.
You got that pink and green burst. I know it.
Pink and green. Are you making that up or is that real?
It's very real. I hope he did not. I don't think he ordered that, but they will make any color, including that. There was one at NAMM. It was hideous.
Yeah.
So I think he said he was thinking about kind of it was like a low key, maybe a satin black sort of thing. I don't know what he ended up with, but
which box did you check? Sick, rad, super sick, or super rad?
Tubular.
Four Walls Music is saying also at a worship event there's no drunks, so you got to play those notes right every time.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know what? That whole worship thing, that I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that is a U.S. phenomenon because we don't have that up here.
I mean, I don't have anything to do with it myself, but it's interesting. It's interesting for me as an outside observer. I don't go to church as an adult. I'm not trying to be like political or anything, but I was raised in like a more traditional like Oregon type of church, so it's like completely foreign to me, the like rock and roll church thing. Yeah, it's interesting to see.
They have rock and roll churches.
I mean, that's what it is. If you got I don't know. I've never been to one, but if you got a guy with electric guitar and electric bass and stuff, to me, that's rock and roll church.
We'll have to check that out.
No, but they're not playing Slayer or anything like that.
I mean, that's why I don't go, right? If they play Slayer, I'll go.
Yeah. Play some Metallica and I'll show up.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, Swamp Ash Blacked Out. Walnut neck, which I don't know anything about, but flame maple fretboard. That'll be awesome, man. Except, what's up with walnut? I noticed you like walnut.
Brian, all right? So here's the make or break for whether I'm going to dig your guitar or not, Brian. And it doesn't matter, obviously, whether I dig it or not because it's your guitar. But is your maple fretboard natural or did you get it stained?
Oh, the Kiesel. What's it called?
I don't remember what they call it. Stained fretboard.
They have like a special word for it. It's funny.
Stained, what does it turn it a different color or what?
Yeah, they don't like roast their maple or anything, but he'll like literally stain it like a top of a guitar. If you want like a blue neck,
yeah,
sure.
Oh man, no.
Brian got it stained black out. The board is stained blacked out. Yes. Oh my gosh, Brian.
I'm into it. Flamed and blacked out neck.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. I'm into that, man. I'm gonna get a very similar one, but I want an Evertune and probably a regular neck, but that's it.
Is it safe to assume it's a headless guitar, or is that just?
Yeah, I think he was looking at a headless, but they have regular ones.
Yeah, right away, that's a non-starter for me.
Yeah, fair enough. They have regular ones, and the new model is pretty classic. It's like a super strat sort of thing. I think they're competing with Sir and Ibanez AZ and that sort of thing. And they look nice. Yeah, headless Osiris. He's all in.
Oh man,
he drank the full cup of Kiesel Kool-Aid.
Brian, are you gonna be doing an Animals as Leaders cover band?
Yeah. You're gonna play all fingers, don't pick now. Just gonna all fingers on the fretboard.
$370 for just the fretboard and the stain.
Oh man,
those options add up, man. I think that's gonna be cool though. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, Brian's on fire, man. He just bought that Armada.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of people saying they don't like the headless.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mind it, except what Jack Daniels just said. You can't tune. You have to tune like crossed up. Like you have to tune and then pick it, and so that's weird. And I don't like that. That's an actual downside. But I feel like all the other things that people complain about headless is like, who cares? I don't know. But the tuning thing is. That's an actual legitimate concern that I can't deny at all because it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I go down for like down the neck and not see a head there, it's like that. It would take me a while to get over that.
I'm sure I would go like this with my clip. Like I would do this I do this a whole bunch. I'd be like, just try, damn it, not again.
Yeah, I would put that on the 5-way switch on the Strandberg. Put the polytune on there, and then you would literally have to hold it like this, have this hand down tuning it, and then go like, and they're pretty hard to turn. They're very stiff, like cylinders that you have to twist. So it was a very awkward.
So it's not like a fine-tuned Floyd Rose thing. It's an actual crank.
It's like a barrel that you crank, and and it has like little knurling around it. I mean, it's okay, but it's probably not totally optimal.
Oh, good. Well, so Will Varela is saying, Guitar Hack, I was an altar boy in church. The rules are, if you open wine for Mass, you must finish it. After 4 Masses, we all got loaded. Well, there you go. Learn something new every day. So I don't know how you guys are doing on time. I can't believe how fast this went, man. It's like it's 8:15. We've been an hour 15 already.
Well, I mean, we had Tuner Gate, so that was ate up some
Tuner
time.
Gate was at least 15 minutes.
Yeah, really.
Of me making an idiot of myself, but what else is new?
Yeah, Tuner Gate. That's funny. So you guys good on time? You want to go?
Yeah, I'm fine.
30?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. Yeah. Hey, Suave Trainer Rick is here. How are you, Suave?
Suave.
Yeah, so again, if anybody's got any questions at the Guitar Pit, at Guitar Hack, or at Cheddar Kung Pao, and we can go from there. Hi. Oh, Quentin James, no shirt today, but it shipped. Oh, that's awesome, Quentin. I hope it fits Sylvester okay. Yeah, again, anyone that's interested in getting some Guitar Hack merch, I have the link below. It's also on my banner. Any money that's raised is going to the Canadian Cancer Society. There's T-shirts, there's hoodies, there's women's T-shirts, stickers, mugs, and all that money is going to be donated. So if anyone's interested, and Cheddar is wearing his, I am wearing mine. Guitar Pit is wearing a black.
Guitar Pit is one of those rare people who's pro cancer.
Yeah. It's me. You got me.
Oh, James, he's asking how we get our rooms so bright. So yeah, Quentin James, whenever he's on, he's literally in the dark.
It's called lights.
I think light bulbs would probably work well.
Let's see. There you go.
Yeah.
That's how.
For
there
me,
lights.
There's that one over there, and then there's another one that's even I can't turn
the fancy lights.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to step up my video quality. Like, I got a good quality camera last year, and then I was like, oh, now that I have a good camera, my videos are like super dark.
Yeah.
So then I had to get the lights.
Yeah, you're always bottlenecked by something. I did that, and then I was like, oh, my audio is horrible. I bought that, and I was like, wait, now I need a different lens, and you just end up with 20,000 things.
So Dave Art has his in the closet. Thanks, Dave Art. Thanks for supporting, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what? So I'm actually, speaking of video quality and all that, I'm looking at finally getting a decent video editing software. And and again, I'm an idiot in terms of learning video editing and stuff. I want the simplest possible thing. And Filmora, I tried the free version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever played with that, but it's actually stupid simple. And I'm saying that because I've been able to use it, right?
Well, hey, if it works and it's free.
Yeah, but it's free to try.
Yeah.
So they don't tell you this, but I did the free download, and I spent a couple hours learning it, whatever, and I did put a video together. And then, of course, it's got the big watermark right down the middle. It's like, well, you gotta pay if you don't want the watermark. So I may end up buying that. I don't know if you guys, what you guys use. I mean,
we're both Mac people, so
yeah. So Logic, Final Cut.
Yeah. Oh, Final Cut. Okay.
I was using iMovie up until probably November. I finally bought Final Cut in November.
Yeah, but Final Cut's incredible, and it's what, like $150 or something. It's ridiculously cheap compared to what it used to cost. It used to be like $800 or something, and then if you buy, for example, Adobe Premiere, is that the equivalent?
Yeah,
that's $50 a month forever. So that's much more expensive, which is why I don't do any editing on my PC. I do it all on the Mac. So
yeah, because your stuff looks really good, Chris.
That's the camera, I think. I mean, you can always any software can output the right whatever. So my stuff's all in 4K, and I try to light it right, and that's probably why it looks decent. But it takes forever to output, and it takes forever for YouTube to process it. So if you see a video, it's probably been uploaded like 7 hours ago, usually.
Wow.
Because the last couple of videos I've uploaded took at least 3 hours for them to come off of that. You know, when they're stuck at like 320p or something, it's just fuzz. It's right when you first upload it. So I've just been scheduling them for the next day now.
Brian is saying VSDC, free video, or free video editor. Okay, I got some in here.
Yeah.
Brian Cote gave Quentin a lighting tutorial, so there you go. Yeah, it begins with my lights.
Brian's a actual professional videographer guy. So what software do you use, Brian?
Yeah, I think he's a Mac guy.
Yeah, it's gonna use Final Cut, I bet.
Yeah. Hey, Michael B. How are you, buddy? Okay, we got more suggestions. Galaxy 4 is the zip code. Okay, video recording. Okay.
The only thing I'll throw out there is don't invest a ton of time in some kind of fly-by-night software. It's good to, if you're going to really spend a lot of hours learning something, make sure you pick something that, like, for example, somebody said Sony Vegas. I think that's been around forever, and that's probably worth checking out, and that's cheap. And Adobe Premiere, Final Cut. I mean, Final Cut isn't incredibly resource heavy, so you could, in theory, buy a Mac to run it, but I don't know if that's worth your time. You might be better off buying a camera and not, I don't know, whatever. But It's hard. It's a balancing act, but some of the like freeware ones, it would be a shame if you became an expert at them and then they said,
yeah, we don't do it.
Yeah, we can't update this anymore.
Yeah, Brian Cote did answer. It is Final Cut that he uses. So there you go.
Yeah. Suave says Premiere has a steep learning curve. I have looked at Premiere and I agree. I've also tried to learn After Effects, which is no joke at all. That requires like a 4-year degree. I spent a lot of time looking at it, and I just said, "There's no way I'm going to learn this." I just couldn't figure it out. And I was doing YouTube tutorials and stuff, but it's too hard for me.
Quentin James says all his videos are one-take mistakes and all. Mine too anymore, Quentin. I used to do editing, and then late last year, I was like, man, it's really taking me forever to make videos because editing means it takes me a whole weekend day to make a video. And I was hanging out with Sean Daniel, and he's like, just do some videos with me, where he does all his videos that way, one take, and then just uploads them. And he's like, just do this way. And so I started trying it, and you know, it has benefits and downsides, but the main benefit is I actually get videos made and uploaded. So
yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, how much of a difference does it really make, you know?
Yeah, the important thing is the content, not the form that it takes, right? And if I'm more relaxed and having more fun, I think the videos are better. Even if there are like lots of clams in my playing or whatever, like nobody's watching my videos expecting Pete Thorne or Sean Tubbs playing. If they are, they're going to be sadly disappointed. So.
Well, you know what, Cheddar? I've been watching you for, I'd say, at least a year now, and I see a marked improvement from a year to now.
Oh,
You're
thank
getting
you.
better, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Mine will not improve because I've been exactly the same for 20 years, so it's not going anywhere.
Mitch Heyman asked, is Final Cut Pro easy to learn? I would say not necessarily, but because you can get iMovie for free and you use iMovie for a while, iMovie is pretty easy to learn. And then Final Cut is like iMovie unlocked, like with all the features. And then you have to do a bit of adjusting. But if you've gotten used to the iMovie way of editing and all that kind of stuff, then I think Final Cut wasn't too bad for me to learn. The other thing is I'm not doing like hardly any editing now, so it wasn't very hard for me to learn what I need to do.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Dave's Guitar Channel is here. Hey, Dave. How are you, man? Dave's Guitar Channel is coming on my channel, I think, in about a week or two. Are you guys familiar with Dave's Guitar Channel?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, you should sub Dave's Guitar Channel. Yeah, very entertaining. Dave is a real musician, played in LA, studio work, the whole 9 yards. Guy's an encyclopedia, and he's really entertaining. Yeah. Oh, Quentin James. Yeah, Quentin James says he's a hack. I don't think so, buddy. Yeah, I'm just catching up here on the chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to
271, how are you? Pressure is on now. Yeah, Dave. You know what, Dave? I think you'll be all right, buddy. I think you'll be all right, man. Yeah, Mitch Heyman. Yeah, Dave is a great player. Yeah.
Showman said, I watch YouTube all the time. I think expensive cameras, lights, and programs are not important. As long as you're not blurry, I can hear you and see, then it's all good. I do think that's an important thing, and that I always tell people who are like starting their channels and they're like, I'm going to go get an expensive camera or whatever. What do I need to start a channel? I'm always like, use your phone to start with.
Yeah.
Like the hardest thing is getting, and I'm still working on it, so don't think I'm like, oh, Mr. Expert guy. The hardest thing is being comfortable on video and making the content that you want and like having it come out good. The gear side of it is the easy part, and you don't want to spend money that you don't need to spend when you still don't know what you're doing in front of the camera.
Yeah. Cheap lights would be the only exception. I think cheap lights and a cell phone camera is the way to go. You don't buying a nice camera doesn't do you any good if you have terrible sound and no lights. So lights, I think those are what, like $100 on Amazon. That's definitely the biggest initial upgrade, because cameras are all they're doing is struggling to get light in. So if you make their job easier, an iPhone I'm sure even like an iPhone 8 or something is going to have totally usable 1080p.
Yeah,
you can record 4K. Video. You can record 4K on an iPhone 7 Plus. Like
7 Plus will do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So there you go. That's more than you need. So it's just light. And
you know what really surprises the hell out of me too is like I don't have an iPhone. I've got an Android phone. It's an LG6, and you know the sound quality on this thing's actually not bad.
Yeah.
And you know I did I recorded a rehearsal about a week back, and I just put the phone up on a music stand, literally, and I just recorded it, and then I played it back, and you would think it would have distorted and been all
blown out to hell, right?
Blown out.
I saw that. It sounded good.
Yeah, so, that was my phone. That was this.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing, you know, what these phones can freaking do, man. Video quality, sound quality, like, yeah, you really can do a hell of a lot.
Well, and the difficulty increase of going from doing the video all with this to with all this crap that I have now in
this
here.
Is for Michael B.
The difficulty increase, I think, is way higher than the quality increase. Like, I think you get a quality increase from going to a nice camera and nice microphones and nice lights from the phone, but you get a lot more difficulty because you have to record the audio separately. Sync it, which was a difficult thing Chris and I messed with forever till we finally figured it out.
A nightmare.
Yeah. And then, you know, you end up with maybe 10% better video in the end that maybe some people appreciate, but like you've got a lot more work invested.
A lot of diminishing returns, right?
Yeah. It definitely
and you start having to really worry about, like, for example, I'm always covered in cat hair, but you didn't know until I upgraded my camera. And now it's just like I'll shoot a review and I'll look at my face and go, whoa, there's like something weird. And it'll be something I can't even see, but the camera picks it up. And same with when I go to shoot B-roll, I'll clean the guitar off, get it all ready, shoot the B-roll, and then watch it. And there's just microscopic stuff that I can't even see. I'm perfect vision, but on the camera, it just looks like it's disgustingly dirty. And it's like these slow pans of like this filthy guitar. And it's like, okay, it's pretty embarrassing.
Mojo. It's the mojo on the guitar.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. So yeah, the whole thing just gets exponentially more complicated for, like they said, extremely diminishing returns. So it depends on what you're looking to do. But I would say for the most part, cell phone. Maybe you can even plug a little lav mic into a cell phone most of the time.
Well, and Shure makes a little cool microphone that's like $100-150 that even you can like control the polar patterns on it and stuff. Like there's a lot of options. I would definitely say, like, the only reason I upgraded my camera for real is Henning had this and was like, I'm trying to unload it. Does anybody want it? And I was like, okay, I'll take it since it's a good deal. That's literally the only reason. Otherwise, I would still be using my phone.
Yeah.
Thrash Metal is here. Hey, Thrash. Ed Dana is here as well. Watchman for You is here. Welcome, folks.
Oh, and you destroy your hard drive space. I filled 8 terabytes in the last 5 months.
With 4K, yeah.
So that actually becomes like significantly expensive to solve, because if I'm trying to store 20 terabytes a year, that's big money. So I don't know.
Mitch Heyman is saying, tell everyone how much you like Shotcut. Yeah, I don't like Shotcut. It works for you, but it doesn't work for me, buddy. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up. So if anybody's got any last-minute questions, please pop them in. Cheddar Kung Pao, the Guitar Pit, or Guitar Hack. While you're all doing that, we're going to do that. Let me just say a few things. I say this during every show. So let's sub everyone in the chat, please. Let's keep growing the community. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it a happy place. Let's all support each other. And and again, if you'd like to purchase some Guitar Hack merch for cancer research, I have the link below. And so did you guys Any last things you wanted to mention, Cheddar? What do you? I know you got a live stream coming up soon too, don't you?
Yeah, on Friday I'm gonna do one with my friend Andy, the guitar geek. He's been doing videos for Tomon and stuff, so you may have seen. I met him at TGU last year, and I haven't had him on yet, so wanted to get him on. But the thing I really want to say is definitely buy a Guitar Hack shirt.
Yeah, appreciate that, buddy.
Hell yeah. I have a couple people asking me when certain guitar reviews are coming out. Callie is next. So Callie, hopefully this week, if I can get a break. I know a couple of you guys want the Vigier review up, but it's going to be like at least 2 weeks before I get to that. So sorry, but check back. I'll eventually get through all of them, and it'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, of course.
Oh no, hey man, this was a pleasure. I knew it was going to be fun with you guys, and I mean, like it's an hour and a half, and it's like we just sat down, so that's always a good sign, right?
Nice and easy.
Yeah. R2R3, thanks so much for getting a shirt. It's at the border. It can't be R2R3 because it's made in the U.S. So it's just taking its time. That's all, buddy. So yeah, I'd like to thank Cheddar Kung Pao, David, and Chris, Guitar Pit. Thanks, guys, for coming on. It's always a blast to have you guys on. I want to thank everybody in the chat for popping in. Oh, Old Guys Guitar Vlog, didn't see you. How are you, buddy? Thank you all for popping in. Thanks for the support. I usually do a Thursday night solo show. I don't know if I'm going to do one this week because I've got a very late meeting. So if I do a Thursday show, it's probably going to be later, maybe 9 o'clock. I'll have to decide that on the fly. If not, I will have another live stream with a guest next week, and I can't remember who it is. Bear with me, folks.
It's a mystery guest.
Well, it could be a mystery guest. I have Lando 27 coming on.
Oh, cool.
Lando 27 is coming on Monday. Sorry, not Tuesday. He's going to be on with me Monday at 10 p.m. at night. So that's a little.
Oh man, that's a late one. Yeah. Landon's awesome.
Yeah,
such a funny guy.
I wish more people streamed at 10. Everybody's always streaming like right when I'm done with work, trying to get some dinner, trying
to That's your problem.
Yeah, well, that's right. I was supposed to ship a guitar today, and I can't because UPS is closed.
You're in the wrong time zone. What the hell's going on there, buddy?
I'll move so my stream watching habits are more convenient.
Yeah. All right.
Join Fender Guru or something.
All right, folks. So thanks everybody so much, and we'll catch you. If not Thursday, we'll see you Monday. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.